Hey, we're at the Mod Project and we're at the Green Fingers Day. Okay, so we're with Anthony. That's what we're doing, and we're revisiting Anthony's days with us. In 2015, we met Anthony, and Anthony wasn't in a very good place. He was drinking back then, and he didn't really have his own accommodation. So what did we do?
Well,
Tell them what we've done.
I was sofa surfing with family, you know how that is, but it's, you have to get out on your own and do your own thing. So I met Carrie and I wasn't quite sure about things. Well, I knew that I needed a place, so I'm a kind of person, I would be very hasty in decisions. So the first time I was like, oh, but that's okay, but no thanks, because she offered me some support, and I said no, that's fine, because at that point I didn't know her, I didn't know what was up, and plus I was getting help with the government, but later to find out that was going to take months, maybe years.
Oh, so, you're talking about housing,
yes,
to be able to get accommodation for housing.
Because I had to sign into Gateway something, and then when my daughters was telling me that could take anywhere from 3 months to 3 years. And so I thought to myself, well, maybe I was a little bit too hasty with Carrie. So when I ran into her again, I humbled myself and I told her that, look, okay, I will need your help and I appreciate it, but...
And I had no idea what I was doing. I just thought, okay, I can help. This was, they're just banging in the allotment. That's
no, I was
right
new
now.
to the country. I did not know how things operated.
And I didn't really know how things operated, but I did know that when they're vulnerable and also at a specific age, that you had a duty of care and was right to be able to get help with housing. So, and that was going to be a long process. So I was offered at the time an opportunity, which I ceased, to raise funds for a deposit for your home after knowing a friend who could help me with accommodation, which was available, but on the condition that we raised these funds. So it was nice that on that night of fundraising we managed to raise the funds for you and hand the keys over to you the very next day, and we documented that you'd get that on Kerry's Angels. If you look on Kerry's Angels YouTube, you'll be able to see all of that. That's the journey, the rough journey back then. I think we were all in a bad place back then. And one of the things that I want to cover is alcohol, because back then alcohol was a problem for yourself, and the circle that you were keeping and the company you were keeping wasn't good for you. So what did you do to change that? So you've got your accommodation now, and I pre-warned you that this I did pre-warn you. I said, do not bring the outside into your home within reason, because it would destroy what you work so hard to get. So here we have your accommodation. I've not seen you drunk in the last since 2015. 15? No, it wasn't 16.
16.
I have not seen you drunk at all. Have I seen you with a beer in your hand? Not in front of me, because I'm anti-alcohol. So how do you find it without drinking?
At first it's very difficult, like anything, because, and I've been to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings as well. So it isn't no super strength or anything. It's basically just accepting that this is the way it's going to be, no matter what you want it to be. Because I think the biggest problem with drinking is none of us, every is legal, everyone does it, but when you're the one that can't do it, you feel like the kid who can't come out to play, looking out the window watching all the other kids play, and you want to be out there. That's how you feel inside.
So you felt left out.
Yes.
If you didn't, so you were drunk to fit in.
Yes.
That's what you was doing.
To be honest, in lots of cases,
I used to do that.
That's it.
I used to do that.
Because everyone's sitting off having a drink, and you're there. But now I don't feel this place. If I'm in the place with people, they're sitting off drinking and they ask you're drinking, I just say no, and I just leave it at that. And it's no longer an issue after that. It's just no, and just keep going. And so, but you don't get to that spot overnight.
One of the things that you did when I did meet you, and I did see you drink at the beginning was you were nasty back then when you had a drink. It turned you to a different person. You were like Jekyll and Hyde.
Yes.
So that I never wanted to see that side of you.
Well, see, I don't know all the answers, but I have did some research on all this type of stuff. Drinking goes into you, and it elevates the emotions and the feelings that we as people find it so easily to hide from everybody into the day. Like, you could be walking around, people be walking around with a smile on their face, and you think everything's great, but underneath the surface, it could be a lot going on. You know, it's just smile on the outside, but on the inside, it could be turmoil.
We call that the mask.
Drinking exposes that. When you drink, there's no way you can hide that. So with me being most of the times a mild-mannered person, I don't like to cause a row, or I don't get aggressive and stuff, and I just take a lot of crap sometimes from people, and I just walk away. And when I'm sober, I can walk away from it, and then that's the end of it. It won't bother me no more. But apparently, alcohol goes down there, and it bubbles that over. So then when I reach a certain level in drinking, it bubbles over. It says, oh yeah, and remember the other day when so-and-so stepped on your foot, or the other day when so-and-so said this, or the other day so-and-so did that. It all gets boiled together and escalates when you drink, and it's like, you know what? And then most times, I see that most times, it's the anger is not even directed at the people who caused the anger. It's directed at who's ever there now while you're drunk, because you're drunk. It says, well, look, you can't find the person that did this to you weeks ago or months ago, but why not?
Like an elephant, you don't forget what someone does to you. And that's the thing about us as adults, whether we learn this behavior growing up, and we're substituting our misery with alcohol.
Yes.
And that's what I use. The terminology is not that you're drinking or that you're an alcoholic. I use it as that you're self-harming. Mm-hmm. You're deliberately self-harming, or you're masking what's going on behind closed doors. How do you address that? Do you need to address that? You can only put that down. Put down the alcohol and address it, because alcohol, as rightly I was told the other day, which I already know anyway, escalates the anxiety. Yes. So every time you have that alcohol, you need it again and again and again. You need that fix to keep you balanced. But naturally, you're not balanced. You're completely unbalanced.
Yeah, and I find also another scary thing about alcohol, or deceptive thing, I should say, is probably a better word, is reach the stage whereas, okay, well, I just drink to my limit. Don't trust that either, because you learn your tolerance level. See, you don't realize it, but your tolerance level grows and grows. See, you don't realize it because you just see it as normal. Okay, you may be a person who drink 1 beer a week. You drink that for a few months, then the next week you start drinking 2 beers a week, and then it just grows and grows, and you don't notice the difference because mentally you're still saying, okay, well, I'm still reached just my tolerance level. It took 1 beer last time for my tolerance level. Now it takes 2 beers for my tolerance. Then it takes 3 next. Then you'll be drinking a 6-pack a week.
Honestly, binge drinking.
And then binge drinking, and then
I used to binge drink when I met you. When I was met you,
yeah.
I was drinking still, but I was in control of what I was doing because I drove, so I didn't drink and drive. But I was drinking a bottle of rum every single weekend. Sometimes a Friday and a Saturday and a Sunday. And I don't know how I did it, but I was drinking those, and I was binge drinking, and I was happy. But it was the company I was keeping. Mm-hmm. As long as they come over, everybody wanted to know. As long as they could open a bottle of drink with you, so it's sink or swim, right? So when you got the people around you saying, "Yeah, come out to party," one of the things that I kept doing before I went out was Dutch courage, was to get drunk before I went out. So I didn't have to deal with comments or worry about what people think or whatever. And when I look back, I look so foolish, and degrading. And really, I think when you are sober, you can choose wiser. When you're in the midst of alcohol, you really have no sensibility. And then you have to think about children and alcohol. And for you, there's no little ones here, is there? You know.
Not anymore.
So
well, I've got grandkids now. My kids are big, are growing, and now I have grandkids. So
set an example to the grandkids.
Yes.
Right. So on a Monday, we come down this allotment, yeah, and you give back, and well, so far I like my bit than yours. We're kind of in competition here, but it's good, great, and you are the founder of this Seeds of Life, really, aren't you? It was you wanted this to show everybody what you had. And what you could do and what you could give back. So if you're looking for a gardener, this is your man, because he started this seed. And the fact that you planted this seed, we're now here, and on a Monday we had 5 members today. Absolutely 5 members. So if you're not feeling quite good, there we go, we've got viewers come back, then you can sort of kind of get involved in the allotment project and contribute. We're always looking for donations and things to donations of goods towards the project, right? Benches and stepping stones. We're not asking for money, we're asking for products. David says alcohol is a downward spiral. That's why I gave it up when I was 25. So thank you for that comment. So what do you say to David?
Luckily for you that you gave it up early, at an earlier time, you know. Because the longer a person waits, the more difficult. I mean, the desire to want to stop is still there, but somehow the willpower to stop leaves. I think that's the most frightening thing I've heard from being with people that drink. You know, I've been in situations where I've been drinking, they've been drinking, and we're both drunk, and you know, we're being honest with each other. And the conversation comes up then, look, you need to stop this. We need to stop this. And then the person says, well, you know, I really, really want to stop, but now it's too late for me. I mean, that hurts the heart when you hear someone saying that they've given up hope on trying to stop. So, you know, all I'm saying is that it's
never too late.
Struggle.
And it's never too late. Just like mental health, you're in recovery every single day. So
and alcohol leads, and the shocking part is alcohol leads in some cases to mental illness, and I'm sure that's the category I'm in with drinking. If I continue to constantly drink, I think before alcohol kills me, that I'll go mentally insane and then die. So that's a bluntly way of looking at it.
But my mum, growing up, was an alcoholic. She kicked the habit. She did kick the habit. But there was times where she used to hide these bottles, and I didn't actually know what an alcoholic was back then, but I do know that because of being an alcoholic and because of drink, it destroyed my childhood. And even the fact that we put down the childhood, I learnt that behaviour and started drinking myself. I thought the life was about partying all the time, hanging out with people that did the same. And that's the thing, isn't it? Know who you're hanging out with. Have they got the best interest in heart, or are they masking their own secret through the alcohol? Because I can guarantee you that the people I hung around, they got mega problems, and that's why they still drink to this day. Some of the people that are on our group don't drink. It's a no drink policy. What we have said, and I like a taste of beer, so I replace it to a Beck's Blue, which is 0 alcohol. Honestly, I really do. I have done that when I'm out. And so therefore it looks like you're enjoying the party with everybody else, but you're actually drinking no alcohol.
You have to admit, hops taste nice, but it's not the hops that we're worried about, it's the fermentation that's the problem.
I think to the viewers that are watching this, alcohol especially, and I have to say this, the amount of people in Ipswich, Suffolk alone. I know this goes all over the world, but we're from that region of Suffolk right now. So the amount of people in Ipswich, Suffolk that have an alcoholic problem. Is that the word? Alcohol problem.
Alcohol problem, yeah.
That is the downward problem. And the thing is, do you love your children, your grandchildren, yourself enough to put the bottle down? But, in that case, you're picking up a drink. You obviously don't like yourself very much in the first place. So get help, get support. You can overcome, and everything is possible if you get support. I mean, you've got Turning Point, you've got the AA, you've got those self-help
The
drinks.
AA on Wednesdays over by the police station there. You go
That
in on
Bolton
Wednesday.
Lane as well.
On Wednesdays, you can go there Wednesdays at 10. You go in, they'll give you an assessment.
Is that Turning Lane? Turning Point?
Turning Point, yes.
So Turning Point,
Yes.
Museum Street, that's where it is.
Yes.
And 10 o'clock, go and try and get an appointment there.
10 o'clock on Wednesdays. If anyone out there now is listening who says, well, wow, they've probably reached that point where they say, look, because you know what? Here's the problem. No one can make you do it. I mean, if they make you do it, you're not going to do it correctly. But when you reach that point, so you see me, the problem with me is I pissed everybody else off and I couldn't care. But when I start getting pissed off, I said, now I know how they feel. Because now it's pissing me off as much as it pissed them off. And so now it's time to say, well, okay, well, if this is how it feels to them, then I'm sorry, everyone, that all my loved ones and friends and stuff that I've offended with this.
Mm-hmm.
Family, friends, and loved ones and everyone. And anybody out there listening now, just do it. Don't just do it.
Just
right?
do it.
Just do it. Don't wait for somebody to have to come and hold your hand all the time. Sometimes you say, well, I want to do it, but no.
There is one more
Survival. Do it
one
for
more
yourself.
thing with alcohol, and I have to make this quite clear because a lot of people don't understand that when you drink, you are 10 times worse drinking. You escalate your anxiety, your panic attacks, and the worst thing I have ever seen in my entire life was when somebody had psychosis through drinking and then fitted because they were hallucinating and seeing things, and that was because of the alcohol. Mm-hmm. So you put down the alcohol and their life has improved so much. Your skin, your health, all of that improves. Your hair, your skin, your nails, it all improves. So once again, Turning Point, research. There is a recovery tree on the website. I am going to put you there too because they seem to be in it. They know what they're doing. Okay, the recovery tree as well, which you can find on Facebook. And I am proud to say, although I didn't class myself as an alcoholic because I was binge drinking, would you see that as an alcoholic?
It's that's really just a psychological term, I guess, because there's various types of alcoholics. There's the alcoholic that everybody sees and it says, oh, here's an alcoholic, because he drinks and then he's loud and it's this and it's that, and everyone notices that one. The battery's low too. But then there's the alcoholic, like, I think the scary one is the person who doesn't admit they're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Because I've been through that phase as well. In my first stages, I wasn't an alcoholic. But if you ask me not to drink, I would say no, I choose to drink. So realize that it's more than just, it's the psychological part. That's why when you go to learn how to get off of this, you find out that the psychological part of this whole battle is probably, equally as important as physically abstaining from it,
David says, last word, the physical implications of alcohol are extremely dangerous and not too many people realise what it does to your body, but then the mental illness that can come from drinking is excessive. Amounts is devastating. Much love to anyone trying to give it up, and my heart goes out to you. You're a brave soul. I want to say thank you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of me too because I don't touch it, and I know that if I'm not ever picking that up. I like the zero policy of no alcohol.
Good.
I like being in control. I can actually hear the music. I can hear the music. I can see what's going on. I can see, and I don't like it when people are drunk now. I don't like it. I can see it. Yeah, and I wish they didn't. So for me, anyone that gives up the liquor, and I call it the devil juice, because it will steal your soul and steal everything. It destroys everything you touch. Yeah. So for me, Anthony, final word to your viewers. Thank you very much. We'll show you the allotment project later, but
yes.
Final word.
Thank you, everyone, for listening in. And we have a great spring day because we're enjoying ourselves over at this lot, you know.
And on the gardening, on the gardening aspect, you know, you do this gardening and this allotment. So if anybody has any gardening that wants to do, I can vouch for this man all day long. He's on our project, and I'm supporting him and sponsoring him. So please, come back to me, inbox me if you've got gardening you want done. It's reasonable prices. You deserve a break. So we're asking you. We're helping ourselves here.
Yes.
On a positive level. Final word?
Oh wow, nothing really important to say, but support the Mom Project. It's here to help you, or you know someone who needs help, then we're always going to be here for you. Just remember that.
Yeah. So, on that note, this was absolutely real talk. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
God bless.